Hey guys, sorry I can't be there today. I think I need to stay away until my migraine is gone because the fragrance is going to keep triggering it. Um, so today we're going to go over solving 1 and 2 step equations. We've already done this, but I think that we need to go over again how I want you to show me to do it. At the end, we'll talk about what your assignment is for today. Remember, when there's a sub there, your primary goal is to not get in trouble, right? So listen to the sub and do what they ask you to do, regardless of what you think we do all the time. So just listen to the subs. Okay, so remember that when we have an equation, I know that you can do this in your head, but we need to have a process for when they get more complicated, or when we can't do the actual computation in our heads. So what we are practicing right now is our process that we can apply later. Not so much can you come up with the right answer in your head. If you're doing that, if that's all you're showing me, you're going to have to redo the assignments. So the thing I want to see is breaking the assignment into 2 sections. So we're going to do that at the equal sign. This makes 2 sides of our equation. I'm going to circle my variable. Again, that'll make it easier later on when we see where our variables are and what's happening to them. So I see that X needs to be on the side by himself. So what I need to move is the 3. Now this is a positive 3. So in order to move that 3, I'm going to do the opposite, which is, which is -3. I can make a line under this, and that shows me 2 distinct rooms. So X plus 3 minus 3, the positive 3 and the -3 together make 0. So I'm just left with my X. The line is the equal sign, and I get -3 plus -5. Remember your team in battle. So they're the same sign, which means we keep the sign and we add those numbers. So X is equal to -8. I should check this. So I rewrite my original problem. I'm going to replace the X with parentheses and plug in the number that we found. Now -8 plus 3, that's now a battle. The -8 wins, so my negatives win, and I subtract. So I get -5 on the left-hand side, and I didn't touch the right-hand side. Now, as long as these guys are the same, that means that my answer was correct. Next example, 12 plus X is equal to 8. So again, I'm going to make the wall at my equal sign. I circle the variable. My goal again is to get the X by itself. So I have to move the 12. So in order to move the 12, I'm going to do the opposite. Now I can ignore this plus. What I'm really looking at is just the 12. The 12 is a positive 12, so I'm going to subtract it. Make my line again. That breaks up the rooms. So now I see 12 minus 12 is 0. I'm left with the X. The line is the equal sign, and 8 plus -12 is a battle. The negatives win, and I subtract. So to check this again, I'm going to replace the X with parentheses, write everything else the way it is, and then I get 12 plus -4. Again, that's a battle. This time the positives win, and we subtract the numbers. So we get 8 equals 8, which means I'm good. So now we've got a subtraction problem. We're going to do the same thing. We are going to make a line at the equals, circle my variable, and move everything out of that room that's outside the circle. So we have to move a -3. The way we move a -3 is by doing the opposite. So now my -3 plus 3 goes away, I'm left with r on one side, and that equals 10. I'm going to check it. R minus 3 equals 7. I copy everything down. I'm going to replace that variable with the 10, and 10 minus 3 is 7. So we get 7 is equal to 7. So again, I make a line at the equal sign, separating my equation into two parts. I circle the variable, and I'm going to move everything outside that variable. So what I have to move is this 4. Now 4x means multiplied by 4. So the opposite of multiply by 4 is going to be divide by 4. I'm going to show this like a fraction. Fractions mean division. So what I have is 4x divided by 4. This is essentially a 4 divided by 4, which is 1. Negative 44 divided by 4, a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and I get negative 11. Now 1x is the same as x, so this is just x equals negative 11. When I check this, 4x equals negative 44. 4 times something equals negative 44. That something is negative 11. And I get negative 44 is equal to negative 44. Now I have a division problem. I'm still going to follow the same steps. I make a line at the equal sign, circle the variable, identify what's happening to the variable. So the variable is getting a divide by 14. The opposite of divide by 14 is multiply by 14. So I multiply both sides of this equation by 14. This is going to cancel. This is essentially 14 divided by 14. So that's 1n again. So 1n equals 28. Sorry, I didn't make my line. 1n is the same as n. So n equals 28. I can check this. Taking the original problem, n over 14 is equal to 2. I'm going to replace the n with what I found. So 28 divided by 14. We can treat this like a fraction, or we can treat it like division. If we do it like a fraction, remember that we're going to divide by the greatest common factor, which in our case is 14, giving me 2 over 1, which is 2. Or we can just look at 28 divided by 14. Both of those answers will give us 2. So those are all the examples for each type of one-step equation. Go back and look at whatever you need if you get stuck. But we're going to go on to two-step equations. So now we're starting to add a little more complexity. We're still going to follow our same steps. So we make a line at the equal sign. I circle my variable. Now I need to move everything outside that circle. And I'm going to do that from distance. So start with the stuff that's farthest away. Now, remember that we're trying to move it out of this left-hand room. So the 5 is fine. I'm going to leave the 5. The x is fine. The x needs to be in his room by itself. What we need to move are the 2 and that 3. So the stuff that's farthest away is going to end up being plus or minuses. So I'm looking at this plus 3. I'm going to do the opposite, which is minus 3. Put the floor on my room, and I look at this left-hand side. Now, when I say left-hand side, I'm looking at this room first. So I didn't do anything to the 2x. The 2x stays. But now I've got a 3 minus 3, which is 0. So all of that goes away. This right-hand side is 5 minus 3, which is a 2. And now what I've got is a one-step equation, which I'm already familiar with. So we already have our line. I circle the variable, and what I need to move is the 2. The 2 is connected to the x by multiplication, which means I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide by 2. Putting in the floor again. 2 over 2 is just 1, so this leaves me with 1x, and 2 divided by 2 again is 1. So what I have is x is equal to 1. So I can check this. I'm going to check this by using the original equation, 2x plus 3 equals 5. I'm going to substitute the 1 for the x and then simplify. 2 plus 3 is 5, and I end up with 5 equals 5. One more example here for the two-step equations. Now this looks like it's a one-step, but this minus x is a little confusing. Whenever you've got a minus x, make that minus 1x, and that might help you see that this is really two operations to solve here. I make the wall, I circle my variable. What I need to move is the stuff that's farthest away. Remember, I do the plus or minus to get rid of stuff first. So I've got this positive 4 here. I'm going to subtract 4. I finish off the room. So 4 minus 4 is 0. I'm left with still this negative 1x. 9 minus 4 gives me 5. So I repeat the process. I already have my line. I'm going to circle my variable. And I can see that what I need to get rid of is that minus 1. This is a negative 1 times x. So the opposite of times negative 1 is divide by negative 1. Finishing the room here. I end up with a positive 1x is equal to negative 5. And that just means x equals negative 5. I can check this. 4 minus x equals 9. 4 minus, I'm going to replace that x with the negative 5. So remember, we change the minus to a plus. Now my negative 5 becomes positive 5. And 4 plus 5 is 9. And we get 9 is equal to 9, which tells me that all is good. All right, so Alex is going to make you do a knowledge check. Now this is a short one. This isn't the full knowledge check. It's just a progress knowledge check. So get in to do that, do the knowledge check. There's still the button that says, I don't know. Do to the best of your ability so we can see whether we've increased any of our sections of the pie. Then also in Alex, many of you still have assignment 8, assignment 9, and assignment 10. Guys, by not using your class time, they're starting to pile up. So we've got assignment 11 today. Check the title of each one. The title shows you what you have to show work on. So check assignment title. For problems to show on paper. Some of you have asked if you can do everything online and post the work online. So I'm going to put all of these assignments out there on Google Classroom sometime today. They're not out there right now, but sometime today they will go out on Google Classroom so that you can post them there if you don't want to hold on to the pieces of paper. And again, guys, I'm sorry. I will be back on Monday and we can go over any issues that we had.